February air, a winter's harsh. A different kind of love, a sacred rush. For the roses is all the fleeting glance, before the scales and a fighting chance. We're the phoenix nesters watching from the wire, seeing shadows fall, fueling the fire. Every story buried, every silent tear. Here comes a promise whispered, conquering the fear. Oh, Lady Justice, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth deflected in our eyes. We're turning the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. They sold you a story, a neatly packaged lie, but the threads are unraveling under a watchful sky. From the cold case files to the digital trace, we're finding a heartbeat in this forgotten space. Oh, Lady Taro space, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. Return the pages, breaking all the locks. This is a true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifted, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. Shift to arise, pure justice. Lady Justice.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Fair game for the public to hear. What do you think about that? Drop a 1 if you agree. Do you think we should be able to hear everything? I mean, we live in a time right now, let me go grab some water, where we deserve to know the truth. Aren't we living in the truth age? We're living in fast telecommunications, media, social media, news travels faster. I mean, think about it. We are living in the digital age. If anything, right now, 2026 is a robust digital age to be alive in. And if you grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you were more advanced than the 50s, 60s, 70s. Would you all agree? Welcome today. Today is absolutely a beautiful day. I'm telling you, I just got out of the garden. I got strawberries going. I got to revitalize my tomatoes. They're looking great. Got some new things planted, some cucumbers. I am ready to rock and roll. But let me tell you this beautiful Wednesday, February 4th. Woo! Don't want to go back to January. February 4th. I will tell you, a lot is happening in the IDAHO4. A lot of things are happening in the news. There is just a heaviness that we are going to shake off our shoulders. We are going to reset the clocks of Lady Justice, and we are going to look at things in a new light. Do you believe, yes or no, do you believe the public has seen all the evidence? Well, you guys are pondering and answering that question. I'm Phoenix, your host. This is Phoenix Talks. We rise above assumptions and think with open minds. Every question matters. Every angle is welcome. If this is you, welcome home. Welcome in. If you are trolling, to keep on scrolling. This is not the stream for you. I might offend you. It's okay. I know I'm a lot. And if you didn't notice, there is a members only live. So I'm having 2 lives a day, and that is for members only. You're going to get more information than you ever needed in the Idaho 4 case, and with receipts. Publicly, on my live, which you're on right now, you will get a scaled down version, but you're still going to get some amazing information. So if you want the inside details, become a member. Consider it. Now, I think I've got a new member. Les, welcome in. I am so thrilled that you became a member. I am bringing you so much member-only content. You are going to be like, I need to be a member. Now, remember this. When we talk about the Idaho 4, we are not just talking about the victims. I want you to remember that Dylan is not only a witness, she is a victim. And I believe there comes some respect with being a victim and a witness. I have been both in a situation, in a legal court battle. And I will tell you, it's not always easy. It's not easy. So let me welcome every single one of you in. I hope you answered the question. Welcome in Marissa, Terry, Artsy Gal, Karen, No Talkie Before Coffee, Donna Rosa, Lulu Bell, OGs are in the house. Welcome freaking in. I love you guys. Rebecca, OG in the house. Terry, Les, Lulu Bell. Hello, Caleb, my trusty mod friend, and Liz, welcome in, everybody. I love how you guys welcome in. This is a safe place. If you want a safer place, become a member. Now, the trendiest mods around the world. I love it. We do have the safest and trendiest mods. They are freaking amazing. Educated, schooled. My trusty Amanda, she is like a walking repository. The girl is on fire. Hey, Sleuthy Kitty. I love it. And Ink Mama, welcome in. Yes, I think you guys are agreeing. 1. Yes, you guys dropped a lot of 1s, which means that the public should be able to get all the information. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I freaking agree. Why? Public information. We're the public. We should get it. Karen, welcome in. Donna Rosa. Wolf Angel, good to see you. Yeah, if you're in here to troll, keep scrolling because we're going to catch you and we're just going to kick you out. No questions asked, no mercy. I am a beast today. I am in beast mode, no mercy. There are some of the public who are not capable of handling what they hear. Yeah, I agree, Lulu Bell. Some of the stuff coming out with the Epstein files, there's going to be people who are like, no way, this could never happen. Welcome to the real world. Yes. It's a definite yes. Boo, no, you don't think that public should have all the evidence. I think they should. I think every single one of us, what's your Phoenix to healthy tomatoes? Good soil. That is my secret. Mix in some coffee grounds, do a compost, plenty of pH balance, water. Oh yeah, I've got some nice little cherry tomatoes. My granddaughter ate them all while she was here. I've got some beefsteaks coming up. I love Roma tomatoes. That's my secret. I had to renew my oh, gotcha. Okay, Les. Let's see. Are we not digging inside details? We are digging inside details. I am not doing live digs. I'm only doing, if I need to do a live dig on the public, I can. But if it comes up as a question, I will definitely do a live dig. Nona Ryan, I'm back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, hun. Phoenix, this is crazy. Too much happening, and the G family is playing too many games. I seen the recent one a couple of days ago. I haven't commented about it. I want to go back and watch it one more time. Maybe I'll watch it with you. But There's a lot to uncover in what the G's say. And I did see the video that's been going around. Remember, I am a member in the G family page. And I just have to say, there's a lot going on in there too. There's a lot going on. As a mother, I can relate, not to the loss, but I can relate to the pain, especially about a missing child. What am I talking about? Well, I'll just clue you in case you haven't seen it yet, since we're going to get into our topic today is Dylan. Oh my God. Everybody, don't go run and tell everybody Phoenix is talking about a victim. I am feeling better. I am so feeling better. And just taking a break and step away, you see things with new eyes. I don't think Brian's going to get out, sadly, and the GP are putting for the DP again. Well, you never know. God answers the oddest prayers. You never know. I don't think we've seen all the evidence. I have to renew membership. Okay, got it. Make sure you guys fix all those things. I had to do the same thing myself. I've got a membership to Long Crime and a couple of other ones that I trust for resources. I use coconut oil in plastic containers, so I'm not sure what's going on. Going on my third, no success. I use coconut soil. Oh, coconut soil. I read it as oil. I was like, girl, that's the first step. Oh my God. What hospital? Don't know. HIPAA is very, very, it's a hard one to get around unless the family tells us why he was in the hospital. We will never know the answer to that. Not Dylan, probably watching these videos. Oh, not Emily either, or her mom. You know how they go after me. Oh my God. Give me a freaking break. Okay, so what's the video that I'm talking about? G, Mama G. I'm just going to call her Mama G. I mean, I have no hate. I respect everyone. It's hard to watch some of this stuff. It's a minute video. I'll go ahead and show you what she put. I love her shirt, by the way. And here it is. Here we go.
So I'm going through some of Kaylee's things, and I just came across the sweatshirt that she was wearing that night. And in the pocket is her grub truck.
And notice, it is her grub truck number was 78, November 1st, 2022 at 1:42 a.m.
78 ticket.
Can I just say, look at that freaking rock on her ring. You know I'm real as day. My streams are not scripted. I'm the real deal. But I'll tell you, I am one to notice the rock, the nails, the hair, the weight loss. What else can you notice in this picture? What else? Anyone, drop it below. Freaking earrings. How much gold does she have in her ears? A grieving mother. Absolutely.
I was looking for it. It's the first thing that I really found.
Okay.
That
I'm just going to be as real as I can get. She was looking for it. They had these boxes for a long time and she never went through them. So then she puts up that she's ready to go through these boxes. But if you were looking for it for a long time, you would have already had it. That's my humble opinion. I'm allowed to say it.
Been looking for. It was in the top of a box, and when I looked in the pocket and I found that ticket, I was just takes you back to those hours right before, and they had no idea what was going to happen to them. Terrible.
Now, that's a great question. It says 142. They were ordering They were ordering. That is the ticket they give you when you order. If you go back to the grub truck that night and watch, or even now, I mean, they stream all the time. If you go back to the grub truck, 142 is when they walk in and they order. On my timeline, guys, 141 is when they're at the window. 141. There was no line. She orders, they say what they want. I believe that 142 is accurate. There is no time delta at the grub truck, guys. There is none. This confirms that it was at 142. Amen to confirmation. And I hope that they give us more confirmation as time goes on. Okay, those were some things that I realized when I saw this video of her sharing this. It's a private moment, but she did it with intention. I believe, in my humble opinion, this is a part of marketing. Okay, if you want to get the message out that it was at 142 and that time is accurate, you show the receipts. She had the receipts. I'm not judging anybody, Bottom Teeth Andy. Definitely not judging anybody, but we're looking for truth and evidence to this whole case, and we're looking at with open minds, and we do have warm hearts. It is hard. When I first saw this a couple of days, I cried. But then, after the emotional things wore off in me as a human being, I started thinking, that's a receipt. That shows us if it was a 142. It shows it. I don't think that was a filmable moment. Like, I think it was after the fact. She found it, she looked, and she said, I'm going to prove it. That's my humble opinion. Okay? I wouldn't be able to handle it. I know a lot of people who have lost their children before themselves. It is devastating. But right in front of the camera, I would be like, put the receipt down, film it, and say this is the time of the hours before Kaylee was unalived. And here is the answer for all you sleuthers that want to know the truth. She was at the grub truck at this time. No time deltas. That's me. I would never show my face if something like that happened. Okay? It is heartbreaking. And she just definitely confirmed that, yes, it was at 142 that Kaylee was at the grub truck. Live 142 Pacific Standard Time. No time delta. You can argue with me. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. Okay. That is not socially appropriate to film this. Well, we live in a digital age, like I said at the beginning of the stream. We live in a digital age where everything is going to be filmed. Everything is going to be tracked. They're going to know every little detail. So why not know every little detail about Brian Kohberger? Anybody ever question that? Why did they never show us the receipts? Okay. All right. So does that mean she changed her clothes? Well, the actual... Let me go back to the pictures from the IDAHO4 dump. I mean, we've seen these crime scene photos. Her jacket was on the back of the chair in her room, untouched. So that means that she was in her pajama pants, which is in the autopsy. So she physically did change her clothes. I mean, pictures are clearly there. We've seen proof of it. It's in reports. Let's just say yes. Yes, in fact, I know, Caleb. Yes, in fact, there was no time delta. That's the receipts. Now, let's go on. My stream is about Dylan. And why do I have Dylan up here? Because Dylan has always been, everyone's question is she truthful? Well, let's talk about her for a minute. And we're not going to be bad. We're not going to be hateful. We're not going to bash a victim/witness. Because, yes, they deemed her as a witness in court. They deemed her as a victim. Now, we know that she was one of the two surviving roommates. Now, if you're new to my stream and you don't know this, go back and watch a few videos, catch up to speed, know what I'm talking about, because I hate to just throw this out there. IDAHO4, 4 college students were unalived in their home while they were sleeping, per the media, per the LE, when in fact no one was sleeping. Facts. We're here to talk about facts. Now, Dylan's not just a witness. She's legally classified, like I said, as a victim and protected in this crime because she was present in the home during the quadruple murder, homicide. So that status, whatever you want to call it, maybe how she behaves, speaks, moves, reacts, is extremely important from a forensic and legal standpoint. I'm no expert. Read my disclaimer. Everything we talked about here is public. Public. It is your own personal interpretation. Mine views are my own. Your views are your own. We come together publicly to talk about it like at a public forum. And we have the freedom of speech. We're not here to slander, defame, harm any reputation of any person or entity. Mind you, we all have the freedom of speech with their First Amendment rights. Everyone is innocent until proven in a court of law. That means a trial. That means testimony. That means evidence. Do your own research, come to your own conclusion. I'm just sharing you what I found, what I know, what I see, and what doesn't sit right with me. And what doesn't sit right with me with Dylan is her body language. Listen to this amazing lady that I found. If you have not seen her yet, her name is Adrienne. She is a body language expert, and I love it. I have watched several of her videos throughout the years. She has a...
Have you heard this? Where someone is clearing their throat. Now, it can be for medical reasons. Don't come at me with those. Absolutely, it can. And remember, always ask yourself, what else can this mean when you see it or hear it in an interaction? But sometimes it can mean that someone's got something they want to say, so they want to create an opening to say what they want to say. It can be that the words are getting stuck in their throat because they want to say it, but there's nerves or there's hesitation or there's some reason why those words are getting stuck in. And it can even be when someone is going to say something and they don't fully believe it too. So listen out for the...
Okay, so you heard that. Does anybody remember hearing this? And this is the body expert I just talked about. Almost 700,000 followers. She's been around for quite some time. Millions of views, and I enjoy watching her videos. So does anybody remember the actual law and crime video that came out of the actual day this happened? Let me take you back to November 12th, 2022, as this gentleman right here on the left is Jack DeCoeur walking up to Dylan, Emily, Josie, Bethany. Bethany car is parked on the right side. It is, in fact, her huddled. And listen to Dylan's demeanor. Volume up. Did they tell you anything? Some of the closed captions did not pick up what she said. Listen very closely. At 4 a.m., Kaylee and Murphy. Now, before that, I'm going to play it in slower motion and listen closely what she says once again. Did they tell you anything? In the main room. Now remember, her official statement was Kaylee was dancing in the living room with who? With Murphy. But before that, she said someone took Murphy to work and Kaylee was dancing. I don't know who took Murphy to work because I'll play it a little slower and you don't catch it. Now, does it say someone took Murphy to work, or does it say Murphy were. Kaylee and Murphy were. I mean, we have to like really listen close. I think we'll learn the answer if you listen very close. Did they tell you anything? Last night at 4. Someone and Kaylee were. That doesn't say work. In the main room. But she does say, we were in the main room. That means everybody was in the main room. And then she says, if you want to go into detail, I went in, I locked my door and all this other stuff. Okay? This is wild. We were in the main room, but pretty much they were in the main room. They. I heard them dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed, which means that someone was in the room with Maddie. Someone was in the room. Which room? I believe it was Maddie's room. She saw the guy. She saw the guy, folks. She saw the guy. Now, I'm going to speed this forward and put it on normal speed, and I want you to pay attention to some prompts reminding you that what the expert in body language just said. She's already told Jack D what actually happened, but when interviewed, she starts to kind of lose focus, in my humble opinion. So let's just listen to this for a minute and watch her body movements.
Since she knows a bunch of the people who are living here, I'm getting all their names, and then I'll finish collecting all their information. Okay, how old is Ethan?
I apologize. There's a door downstairs next to the bathroom that's got a padlock on, or a lock on it. You guys?
We don't know.
Okay. Who has access to that room?
If you are watching this stream, there are 233 people in this room right now, streaming, listening to this. Hit the thumbs up button. It doesn't cost any money. Hit the thumbs up, please.
Okay. So it's not something you guys normally...
No, we have no idea what it is.
Thank you guys.
So Ethan, how old is Ethan?
I believe he just turned 20.
20. And it's Chapin, C-H...
That was one.
Okay. Do you happen to know either of them?
And she does this for a total of 8 times.
No, I know Sienna's pretty diverse.
Okay. No worries. And Ethan's also a U of I student?
Yes, he is.
And you don't see him here right now? You see, but pretty sure he's in that room.
I think so. I think it's left. I don't know for sure.
All right. And then the 2 additional roommates that aren't here right now,
They're not.
that aren't here with you,
Yeah.
what are their names?
Maddie Mogan, Maddie Mogen. And then Kaylee, Kaylee. Goncalves, Gonclaves. And that's how you spell it.
How old is Maddie?
She's 21. Or 21 or 22. I can't remember. They're both over 21, but I don't know exactly.
I think so. How old is Kaylee?
Over 21. I believe she's 21 or 22. Sorry, I don't fully remember.
That's okay. You're doing great.
Thanks.
I'm asking a lot of you. So I appreciate you.
I won't say anything.
Doing very well.
Do you know if the other two girls are upstairs or not?
Right now, what we got to do is we got to process this whole thing.
That makes sense.
I don't know what I'd be permitted to tell you
That's fine.
right now.
That's
Okay.
fine. I understand.
Okay, let's go back. I just want to make sure we're getting everything. So you're sure at about 4 this morning?
Yes, it was 4:10.
You first noticed a guy.
Well, I first noticed Kaylee go upstairs and scream and run downstairs.
Now,
So-
she didn't go in between that. That is truthful. She just did the same thing with JD, and she told JD exactly what she saw.
4 this morning, went upstairs
Yeah,
to the way top.
that's to her room with Murphy the dog.
Okay,
And
and
then
then you heard Kaylee scream.
I heard her scream and like run as fast as she could downstairs, and she said someone's here.
She ran as fast as she could downstairs. She just said upstairs. Now she's saying downstairs, saying someone's here. So she must have already went upstairs and now downstairs.
She ran downstairs.
Yes, I can hear it. You can hear everything.
You can hear everything. Okay, Dylan.
Downstairs really fast. And then I heard Murphy barking a lot.
Okay.
And then I heard her going to I think it was the bathroom, and heard her sobbing.
Okay.
And I
So she went upstairs. She yelled, someone's here. Ran downstairs to back where people were having fun, laughing and dancing, or downstairs out the front door.
heard this guy's voice, and I didn't recognize saying, "You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you." And
Okay,
it was-
this guy says you're going to be okay. I'm going to help you. Now she hears this from the bathroom.
like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't in like a nice way. It was like a weird way, like a weird tone.
You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear anything from Kaylee anymore at that
No,
point?
after that, I didn't hear anything. So then I kept calling for her name. I called on my phone. I called Vanna, Maddie, and Kaylee. None of them answered. So then I opened up the door to look, and that's when I saw the guy pass by. He
She saw the guy pass by.
looked at me, but he didn't come towards me or say anything, which was really confusing to me. I don't understand that. And I'm pretty sure he went out the side door.
Because she wasn't, they weren't there for you, Dylan.
And then I called and said she thought maybe there was a fire or like a firework. We didn't know. She heard this loud noise and there was a light, I guess.
She heard this loud noise. She's saying she didn't hear this. I'm going to slow this down because I want you to hear it out of Nunez's own mouth, guys. I want you to hear it. Listen closely what he says.
Did you hear it like a pop, like a bang?
I don't know. Did you hear it bang?
It's what
Okay.
she heard. What's up?
Okay, never mind. You sit there. I didn't hear that.
Hey, where are you going right now?
Confusing to me. I don't understand that. And I'm pretty sure he went out the side door.
I hit it too fast. Hold on a minute. Dang it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, maybe there was like a fire or firework.
We didn't know. We heard this. She heard this loud noise, and there was.
Bethany heard a loud noise. She never heard it.
I guess.
I
Did you hear
guess.
Like a pop, like a bang?
I don't know. Did you hear it bang?
It's what she heard. It's
Okay.
what she heard. What's up?
Okay. Never mind. I didn't hear that.
Hey, where are you going right now?
I'm just going to pick up my son.
Okay. Where's your friend live? To the left, please.
Yeah, I can.
Now listen to what he says, guys. He writes down this license plate, but he says 627 is the end of the license plate. I want you to listen really closely what he says.
Okay.
I don't think I ever heard a bang. I didn't think anything about fire or fireworks.
Or gunshot.
You guys heard that, right? I wasn't imagining it. This is Nunez. Nunez has already gone into the house, went up to look at Ethan and Xana, and what does he tell Dylan? What does he say? Holy freaking motherload. Listen.
627. Okay.
I don't think I ever heard a bang. I didn't think anything about fire or fireworks.
Or gunshot.
Or gunshot. Holy freaking moly. This is Nunez that goes up to the crime scene, comes down, grabs everything, starts doing all he can, comes back, talks to Dylan, and she says, no, I don't think I ever heard. Bethany's the one that saw it. So is Bethany the one with the exculpatory evidence? I believe so. I believe so.
Or gunshot.
Or a gunshot. That's at 2628, folks. 2628, law and crime. I'm putting it in the chat for you. And I'm going to put the video up here because someone is going to be talking about this. How many times has the police said gunshot? Okay, here we go. Now, what does all this have to do with the point that I'm making of Dylan? Let's walk it back a minute. Now, I know people are going to say Dylan's body language, is it trauma? Is this really what trauma looks like? Well, is it? Did Dylan freeze or was she hiding something? Dylan was all talkative. Bethany was the one that was silent. Think about it. Tonight, right now, when you watch this, because I've got a replay crew that message me all the time, we're watching you tonight and I'm sharing it. So when you watch this tonight, this is for my replay crew. I love you guys. We're here to understand how the nervous system reacts to terror. I'm no expert. I've done a lot of digging about this, and this is what I believe. And maybe, let me ask you, does drop a 1 if trauma explains Dylan? Or drop a 2 that something doesn't add up? What do you all think? There's almost 300 of you watching. What do you think? Is it 1? Yeah, it is. Or 2, something's not adding up. I want to hear what you have to say about this. This is important. Remember when I said, well, the undercover car was on Banfield and they stole the beanbag gum and it was used? I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was. But something is not adding up. I think I'm at a 1.5 where it could be both. And somebody else, 1 and 2. Yeah. I'm at about a 1.5. I think she's starting to tell the truth. And then the rest of it is like, Bethany, what did you see? What did you hear? I'm not too sure. She takes a second gasp and like, oh no, maybe I am being put on the spot. Maybe I now have to share what I know. And if I share too much, like she said, I won't say anything. She got caught there. See, because when you are told to lie, it's very difficult to lie under pressure. It's very difficult for your brain because it's sending mixed signals. Do I lie? Do I not lie? What do I say? What do I don't say? But that guy is guiding her, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I would have been like passed out, filled with so much freaking trauma, I wouldn't even be able to talk. My mouth would be like I probably would have passed out. Too much stress for me will make me fall over. Now, what trauma does to the body, and I've had an expert explain this to me, we build up fight or flight, and some people even freeze. Freezing is the most misunderstood response. Most people don't scream or run in real danger. They lock up. And what's the first thing that Dylan said? I locked the door. I locked the door. And it could be just an act. I mean, I will say, Les, you have the right to say what you want. Is it? Is it? And the question was, does trauma explain Dylan, drop a 1, or something doesn't add up, drop a 2? Because I'm getting mixed signals. I get about a 1.5. Okay? So if you woke up, let me ask you this. If you woke up at 4 a.m. and you heard strange noises, would you run to it or would you hide? Run or hide? Amanda B, I love it. Well, everybody's dropping their answer. Amanda says 245 watching and only 91 likes. Let's go, guys. Hit the thumbs up. Go out, hit the thumbs up button, come back in, drop your answer. Would you run or would you hide? Which one? Some are saying hide. I've seen kids in the face of danger call 911. They don't go run and hide. They call 911. We know she had her phone. And Prime Cut, I like your name. I'd agree. It is a mind, and they wanted it that way. Yeah, many of us do. We have that right. We have that right. 2A here. I would probably investigate. Find out what it is. I would hyper focus and fight. Yeah, she was able to use her phone. She wasn't frozen. She's not frozen. She didn't run. She didn't hide. What did she do? Went on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. So what we just watched in Dylan in the body cam was tight posture, guarded arms, covered. They gave her a blanket. It was probably cold. But everyone else is standing around with no blankets and in shorts. Flat tone, long pauses, shocked eyes. I mean, there is some emotional numbing. We can't see her face because they blurred everything, right? Her memory is all over the place. But when it comes to saying about Ethan and Xana, she gets caught in her throat. But when it comes to Maddie and Kaylee, she doesn't do that. Like, she was easily to say Maddie and spell her name, and then Kaylee and then spell her name. Yeah. Absolutely. It's not a shock to me. Is it a shock to you? For me, no, personally. Because here's the deal. Trauma disrupts the brain's clock. Events feels faster or slower than they are. And fear, true fear, warps the memory. And this is why it probably took 8 hours. I think they were there before, in my humble opinion. I have the right to think that. Because her statements change in the middle of these interviews. She told JD one thing and then obviously, bam, another. And let me just tell you, if you were terrified for 8 hours, would it feel like 2 hours or 20? Type in 2 or 20. If you were terrified for 8 hours, would it feel like 2 hours or 20? Yeah. Deleted a video I suspect she sent her dad. I think she disliked Maddie. Yeah, the sorority was publicly suspended for hazing and underage activity and drugs. Yeah, it would probably feel like 200 hours for me too. That's a genuine response. It would feel like a lifetime, in my humble opinion. But why is Dylan still a victim? Let me make this crystal clear. She didn't create the danger that we're aware of. She didn't cause the crime that we're not aware of. And she didn't benefit from what happened until her GoFundMe. And this is a really good way to explain it. Disassociated from reality. That is so true. You could be terrified and still do the right thing to call 911. I agree. I so agree with this statement. Now, victims don't act correctly. You know that, right? The brain chooses survival, not logic. Have you ever frozen in a scary situation? Yes, no, or don't know. Never been put in that situation. Have you ever frozen in a scary situation? I have. I saw a crime in progress and I froze and then quickly pulled myself out and got help. Right? Okay. And I see most of you, yeah. I mean, I froze in a scary situation. I told you guys about seeing somebody stabbed to death, right? Laying on the ground and having to go get help. At first I was shocked and I was like, no, this guy's bleeding. He needs help, right? I was only 12 or 13. I didn't hesitate. I wasn't just going to say something and then, hey, I'd go back to the movie or, you know, I was at the drive-in. You guys know the story. Most of you do. So, I mean, where's my popcorn, right? No. I mean, okay. So let me get to the hard questions without any blame. Why the door wasn't open? Why didn't Dylan scream? Why was the call delayed? Was it fear, shock, nervous system collapse? I mean, come on. You can answer me this question. Does trauma explain most of Dylan's behavior, yes or no? Maybe some of it. You could answer that for yourself. Dylan doesn't mean, understanding Dylan doesn't mean we stop asking questions. It means we stop blaming a traumatized survivor for surviving based on the information we know right now. And this is really important. Should we as a society understand her trauma better? Or is this just part of this big mystery in the IDAHO4 case? Should we understand her? I don't. I don't understand her. I don't understand unless she was prompted and coerced to give these statements. I mean, I know a lot of us are invested that we can't sleep at night because we don't understand what happened in this case. We don't understand. And part of that not understanding is perhaps this is the story that they told her to say. And I think that's why a lot of people get confused, honestly, in my humble opinion. But I'm going to show you one thing. This expert talks about crime scenes. He's an analyst, and he actually wrote the report for the IDAHO4. Listen to what he says. This is going to be so important. This was on the True Crime with Sarge. Listen to what he says.
And the reason why I was reading your book, it wasn't for a school or anything. I just had picked up a copy of it because I was named the commanding officer of the Bronx Cold Case Squad. We're looking at all these old cases, and I got into like the behavioral aspect because all we had was photographs to look at. We didn't have crime scenes to go to. So one of the things that always stuck with me, and it was in the very early, I don't remember exactly where in the book it was, but I think it was pretty early on, evidence dynamics.
That's right out. It's the first 3 chapters. I think.
You go.
Me and Jerry Chisholm developed that concept because what we kept encountering were prosecutors. Let's just be what it is. Prosecutors and other attorneys seeing like once you put tape around it, everything that happened inside of it was related to the crime. So we had to explain the crime scene existed before the crime, and it will exist afterwards. And because of that, there's things that change. So yeah, evidence dynamics is a powerful concept that Jerry Chisholm and I developed to help with our interpretation of behavior, with accurate interpretation.
Yeah, it was something that definitely defined the way I was looking at crime scene photos. Like I said, that's all you had. I was always a fan. I don't know if fan is a good word, but the behavioral aspect of what the offenders were doing in that crime scene or in that photo. What did they do? What they didn't. How much of this gets missed, do you think, on a daily basis in crime scene investigation?
Well, let's have some real talk about this, and that is that you and I are men who.
Now, keep in mind, we're women here, majority of us, but he's going to talk about the stages of the crime scene analysis. Listen to the behaviors.
Can be honest with each other, I think, on this podcast, and say that the crime scene unit is not the place where you put the best and brightest. This is where often it's the rubber gun squad for some agencies, and it's the people there are not always very well trained, and they're not always given the time they need to, and they're not always of a mind to do it. I had cases where they would come in to a big case and I probably put it in the first edition. You'll remember this big triple homicide case involving a 2 male female. It was Christmas Day, and everybody at the crime scene unit hated the guy who was in charge of their agency. It was in Eugene, Oregon. And so what they did was they all went and had lunch, and they brought their Dairy Queen back and put it in the crime scene. So the crime scene people came back and they processed it like it was part of the case. They spent thousands of dollars testing the DNA on that. It was just because they were so pissed off. So even on a good day, when everybody's behaving, you can still have infighting that causes them to screw stuff up. The other thing is people get excited at the crime scene. The adrenaline is pumping. And maybe they're an agency like, if you recall, the what's her name? The little girl from Colorado, the John Benet Ramsey case.
John Benet Ramsey.
Remember that case? That the agency handled one other homicide that year. They don't know what they're doing. They got no idea what they're doing. They're not NYPD. They don't have a dedicated unit for this. I've gone to crime scenes where you've got a guy sitting there with his fingerprint kit on his ass, trying to read the instructions of how to pull a fingerprint off a doorknob. You know what I mean? This is a common occurrence. So that's the first thing. So the quality is not always there. In that context, even under that's first hurdle to clear. You got to have good people with good relationships and good training and no politics. Because the other thing that happens is it's not about getting missed. I'm so glad you brought this up. It gets me upset just thinking about it. I am often the very person who will go through a victim's clothing or go through their phone because they'll collect the clothing or they'll collect the phone, but they don't want to look at it. Why? Because once they get a suspect, the physical evidence case, we're done. I got a suspect now. If I start investigating the physical evidence, it will not reflect what our theory is. We know the physical evidence will absolutely come in and destroy that theory. So we have to stop the physical evidence investigation right now. That is a very common reality, and you can see it happening. All right, so that's the next thing. Then the final thing. So there's a dimension of training and ignorance and politics at the crime scene inside the unit. Then there's the politics of having the prosecutor or the chief coming in and putting the big foot on somebody and tell them to do or not do stuff and not examine evidence. But then finally, there is the court. What people do not realize is, let's say you have 100% of the evidence that's at a crime scene. Let's say of that evidence that's at the crime scene, the police will gather on a good day, they'll gather 25% of it, maybe. I mean, the cases I work, they leave behind bloody shoes, they leave behind the murder weapon. It's because before they get to the crime scene, they told themselves a story about how the crime occurred, and they're only looking for that inside the scene. Or worse, one of the guys at the scene is one of their informants, so they don't want to jam them up, so they just only collect stuff that doesn't relate to them, and they might be the murderer. That happens more often than you would think. So then, so you have that, you have the next part, but the final part is the court. So 100% of what's at the crime scene, 25% gets collected. Of the 25%, of that 25%, this new segment, maybe 5% gets tested and examined. Of that percentage that gets tested and examined, the judge will allow admissibility of only a fraction of that. So what a jury sees bears no resemblance whatsoever to what's happened at the crime scene. So until you appreciate that and understand that, to me, you're not really a serious criminal justice professional. It's the fantasy we have that the police went and they collected everything and they tested everything and the everything's coming in and the jury's making an informed decision. That's fantasy land. Okay.
Got a good question here from Blue Bear Art. Says, Joe, can you ask how helpful or not can family be in helping or pushing the police and detectives to help solve the crime?
Now, this is very important. I stopped it here because this is a very important part. When I watched this, I immediately thought of the little video I showed you of the G's.
Oh, such a great question. I've actually prepared family members on this because family members, they form coalitions or groups, especially in places where there's a lot of corruption or a lot of negligence or what have you. And the other, let's lump in not only families but activists. All right, there's a lot of activist groups out there that push for justice in cases that haven't been investigated or been investigated improperly. That's tremendous. In a case where there's not a lot of, where there's a, let me use a big word. It's not that big. It's called necropolitics. Necropolitics is the concept that the state has the ability to decide who gets resources and who doesn't, and who lives and who dies. Necropolitics. What cases we're going to investigate? Let's say we have a group of prostitutes that's being killed in Chicago, like right now. Are we going to call it a serial murder? Nah, we don't need to, because nobody's really giving us a lot of heat on that. Nobody's pushing back. The press isn't covering it. There's no family members what to speak of, because 80% of the prostitutes come from, foster care systems. So there's nobody really there demanding justice. So we can put those cases on the back burner. All right. This is necropolitics in action. Whenever a group that's being hurt is not cared about by the community, nothing really gets done. And that's because of the politics that are involved. So when you have a case where the police are made a lot of mistakes, or where they're not putting a lot of effort, or they're not actually doing their job, the family has the only power to come forward. And it's because this is true. Police agencies will often have somebody who sidles themselves up with the family to keep them quiet. Okay, now we're friends. We're doing this for you. It's going to be helpful. The biggest thing you can do right now is just keep your cool, not say anything. Don't do any interviews. Don't cause any problems. What they mean is don't cause problems for us, because we're not doing our job. Don't do anything. Keep your mouth shut. That is the biggest mistake that families make. Families have the only right to come forward and to speak to the press and say, my son, my daughter, my husband, my wife deserves justice. And that's, police agencies lose their mind when that happens, because now they got to do their work.
Bingo. Listen to that. That is so true. When you speak out on injustice as a family or as a group, if 4 families would have came together and said, no, this is wrong, we need true justice, I'm sure they would have found it.
So absolutely, it is not only effective, it is not only necessary, it is, in my opinion, vital when an investigation is gone off the rails or has become too political. Does that make sense, or am I being too?
No, that makes perfect sense. It's important. I mean, and you can apply that to several cases, including Long Island serial killer, where Shannon Gilbert's mother was, and the attorney John Ray were the ones that kept that case, front and center for 10 or 11 years before things happened.
Okay, so you can go and watch the rest of this. This is Brent Turvey, who actually was one of the experts. In the IDAHO4 case, it was going to be experts versus experts. Who's the one with the best story that the jury can hear and make a decision that, yeah, Brian Koberger was guilty or not guilty? This was actually done, I believe, a year ago, guys. April 7th, 2024, almost 2 years ago. This episode is almost 2 years old. So you can go and take a look at that if you want. Here is the actual episode right there. Grab it. It's Dr. Brent Turvey. I put the link in the chat so you have access to that. He's got a book that this guy's talking about. So go ahead and go and give him a like. And I just gave him a like. Thank him for that video. And when we're looking at this, yeah, he was going to testify for the defense. Yes. He's kind of the guy that steps in and says, in my humble opinion, he's a strong individual. He steps in and he says, you know what? Let's think about this for a minute. I believe this happened. And that's his expert opinion. He's been doing this a long time. Okay. And all the rebuttal from the other experts, in my humble opinion, was hogwash, because they had to push what the prosecution was saying. All right. So when it comes to Dylan, let me just ask you a question. Do Dylan's actions raise unsolved questions that investigators and jurors probably would have examined? I mean, probably. When we look at documents, behavior, timeline, trauma science, I think we become more credible. When people accuse a survivor without proof, courts ignore it, audiences tune out, people are like not going to listen. And it can be a really touchy subject out there. Now, I've always said Dylan is a victim and a witness. The courts made that very clear. They had a private meeting, a private hearing, private discussions. So here's the question. Why was Dylan's actions so hard to understand? What do you think? Drop it below. I've been very fair. Some of Dylan's actions are certainly confusing or hard to reconcile with what we know and what we are learning today. Do me a favor, give my mods some love, drop a like, share, tag someone. Y'all, Phoenix Talks is where we come together and we ask the unthinkable questions. Be well.
February air, a winter's hush, a different kind of love, a sacred rush. For the roses is all the fleeting glance, before the scales and a fighting chance. We're the phoenix nesters watching from the wire, seeing shadows fall, fueling the fire. Every story buried, every silent tear. Here comes a promise whispered, conquering the fear. Oh, Lady Justice, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth deflected in our eyes. We're turning the pages, breaking all the locks. This is our true crime, resetting all the clocks. They sold you a story, a neatly packaged lie, but the threads are unraveling under a watchful sky. From the cold case files to the digital trace, we're finding a heartbeat in this forgotten space. Oh, Lady Taro space, can you feel the shift arise? A love for the truth reflected in our eyes. Return the pages, breaking all the locks. This is a true crime, resetting all the clocks. From the ashes of silence, a new day is born. For every lost soul, a promise is sworn. The blindfold is lifted, steady and slow. A garden of justice is starting to grow. Shift to arise, pure justice. Lady Justice.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking, that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.